3.
So on my 88 controller, I needed to have some meat and potatoes things that I gotta have when I'm on the gig playing piano. One of which was primary sound piano. So I go to program 0, and I've got piano and strings. I'll pull back the volume pedal. When I've got it, when I call up the program, I've got piano and strings. Simultaneously, I'll use the volume pedal to pull the strings out. Then I've got just piano. Dynamically, I want to toggle in the strings where I'd like to, here and there. That's one of my primary sounds. I'm going to go for a second primary sound. I'll go to program 1, and I would like to have piano and organ to work with. Where I've got like a rock organ and piano, and I've got the rock organ set up to vibrato to a Leslie sound. Gives it vibrato. Piano and organ. Another primary is piano and brass. So I'll go to program 2. Sometimes I've got to have piano with a brass section, horn section. I've got that both mixed on the volume pedal. I've got both of them there. But I pull the volume pedal back and just go with my primary piano. Brass once in a while for piano and brass. So that's one of my primary sounds. I'll keep on. Let me take a look at program 3, which I think I overlooked a minute ago. I did. This is electric piano mixed with organ is often used. It's another staple item I use. I'll never catch the end of that one. Yeah, if I could remember this. Nah, I won't. Brass and electric piano. To have brass and electric piano mixed to work with. I seem to have. So I've got this mixed with some organ. I've got the Leslie on the mod wheel. continue on to, I'll skip over to program 5. And clavinet is another staple item on the keyboard department. And I've taken clavinet and I've mixed it with some rock organ, but the rock organ is subtle in the background. You can hear the Leslie, the rotary from the organ in the background. So those are my staple primary background sounds, and then I'll take in with the volume pedal, I'll bring in the brass with that. So having the brass behind the clav gives it dynamics, like in the Stevie Wonder song Superstition. When you get to the bridge, add some dynamics to it. So I'll go on, keep on going. I'm at program 5. I'm going for program 6. I was trying to get my basics on here. Wurlitzer is another form of electric piano. It's a special breed. It's the sound all to its own. I took that and mixed it with some organ. You can hear the organ in the background. Sustains a little bit. And I've got this toggled in on the volume pedal. You can hear the rotary for the organ in the background. This is where I made some splits. The keyboard I've got, on just this one keyboard, I've got from the low A to the B, just bass sound. And on the top end, I've got piano for primary. And I've got organ on the secondary keyboard. On the volume pedal, I can bring in behind the bass and the piano. That's one of the other splits. I'm going to go for program 9 and see what we have. These are all the things I've programmed in a matter of a couple of days to use on my gig. For this one we've got bass, piano, and strings. Comes in handy for ballads and such. Let's go to program 10. Let's see what I programmed in here. Another mix I use would be bass. I took an electric piano and let it scale all the way down with the bass on this program. So on the bottom end I've got bass and electric piano. On the top end I've got some strings and some bells. That's just my FM bass with the electric piano. I'll bring in the strings and the bells. Strings and bells. Rhodes and bass. Strings and bells. Another staple item in my arsenal of keys. Let's go for program 11. On the occasion we need to sound a little jazzier. I took some upright bass, vibes, got some special effects on it. I've also got organ behind the vibes, if you listen carefully, behind the background. There's an organ in the background. So I've got bass, organ, and vibes. And on the volume pedal, I toggle in some saxophones and some muted trumpet, some clarinets. Nice and mellow with the organ behind that vibe. When I want to hit some accents, get some dynamics, I'll hit that volume pedal for the horn section. My jazzy little trio. Let's go for program 1, 2. Have to check out that one. This is the sound of the old analog Oberheim, and beefed it up with another synth module, another analog, to give you the familiar sound. Underlying sound being that Oberheim padded sound. Layered analog on top of that, layered analog synth. So that's a pretty heavy analog sound that I've got that I work with. Now I'll go for, say, patch number 13. Program 1, 3. Some calypso music. I would use the steel drums and vibes. So for the standard, I've got fretless bass with some vibes. That's just vibes and bass, and I'll mix it with some steel drums. And with the sense of touch, if I hit it hard, horns will come in behind it. Bring in the steel drums from time to time to give it dynamics, to go from the vibes. When I hit it hard, I'll get those horns. The volume pedal off, this is what I have. The volume pedal. That's a Happy Island sound that I work with. Now we'll go for patch. Program 1-4. I think this is just about where I left off the last one I was working on. Something that's a pseudo, like a Stratocaster type of sound, guitar type of sound, mixed with a little bass and extended down with the bass, the guitar sound, mixed with some pad. Kind of an eerie guitar sound with some pads behind it.